Hello, good morning. So this is the 5th day of our challenge to learn to dismantle your false core belief. I'm Claire Molinard from Unique Self-Emergence, and I'm delighted to be here again with you this morning for the last day of our challenge. So let me just give you a short recap of where we left it yesterday. In the practice of observing and dismantling your false core pattern, the practice was to each day notice when you're being triggered, when there is a contraction in your being, and to start to observe the mental, emotional, and somatic imprint that it has on you, and to start making associations, seeing how there is a way that you talk to yourself that has a resulting emotional flavor, fragrance, and therefore also has an effect on your body, a way into which you hold yourself, into which you contract. And then this thing becomes you. So our practice the last 5 days was to start to realize that it is not you, that it's actually a pattern, a habit. So hopefully by now you're starting to unravel this bundle, so to speak, and you're starting to see how this is not you. It's actually a chain of consequences. So here we are observing this, naming it for what it is, for the contraction that it is, for the thought that it is, for the emotion that it is, and then making that gesture towards, which is a gesture of coming to myself, right? And the touch has an effect, has a soothing effect, has a reconnection effect. So I reconnect to myself, I touch myself, I give myself comfort, right? And then I ask myself, what is it that I need in this moment? Again, I'm bringing attention back to myself. What is it that I deeply need? So this question opens a new space, a space of care, right? And then I go further into the next step, which is, and what would happen if I had a little more compassion in my being right now? And this is where I left you yesterday. And I'd love to hear from some of you of what happens in that place. What I know from my experience and from the experience of many people that Barbara and I have been working with through that method is that somehow that question opens a well of compassion coming from inside and out. And it often has a very profound effect on people. So I'm really curious to hear what was your experience. So here we are for the last step of the practice, and here I am, having asked myself, what would it be like if there was a little more compassion in my being? And from there, I anchor into my essence. And what I mean by that, from this place of allowing for an answer to that question come, somehow I connect to who I am underneath the contraction. The contraction is no longer my full experience. Something else arises from that question. And that's my essence. That's my true being. It feels more spacious, for sure. And it feels open. And from that place, and that's the next step, I want you to say to yourself, loud or in your mind, a full resounding yes. Yes. It can be a big yes. It can be a very soft yes, but it's a yes, and it's a full yes. It's a full yes. Welcome. Feel it. A full yes to whatever is here. So it's a practice. The yes might come very naturally. It might be an effort. Just see it for yourself. But the practice is to say yes. And to see what happens when you say yes. This yes is the yes of your essence. It's the yes that you access when you bring awareness to your being. When you anchor into your essence, there is only that yes. The ancient Indians in the Indian philosophy, they have a name for that. They call it Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat meaning being, Chit, consciousness, Ananda, bliss. So, being, when I anchor into my essence, when I stop identifying to the contraction of my false core pattern, I'm actually tapping into my essence, tapping into my being. So that's Sat. Chit is the consciousness that arises from that. It's the essence, the consciousness of that, of my essence that arises from that. And the Ananda is the big yes, the bliss of being completely present to this moment. So this yes arises from the full capacity to be here in this moment. And it can only happen then when I'm free of the contraction. So you see that this whole step-by-step process has dismantled the false identification to the contraction, to the contracted false self, which bundles into a pattern, so that your true essence, your true being, and the bliss that lives in that presence can be revealed. So this is it. This is the practice, and this is the accelerated practice to learn how to dismantle your false core pattern. And of course, this is we introduced you to the full practice in 5 days, and I'm sure that, and having read some of the comments on Facebook, and I know that some of you are getting a lot from the practice, and I will never emphasize too much the need to do this practice regularly. I still do it. I still do it when I find a contraction, which is every day. So, and you'll see that after some time, when you do it regularly, the practice becomes really fast. The steps become organic. So it happens like that. The steps kind of melt into each other, and it just becomes a tool that you have. Yes, so my suggestion is that you do this practice for 21 days. Because in 21 days, it's proven that you can actually create a new muscle in your being, in your consciousness, and this will be with you for always. So this is it for today. Please, again, share on the Facebook group, and if you don't share, at least write down in your journal all the insights that you have from the practice. And remember, no practice, no change. That's the sad truth. No practice, no change. In order to change, you need to practice. And practice can be fun. I hope you had a lot of fun, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.